Good morning, beautiful people, highly sensitive people, groovers, all of you. Hello. It's drive therapy time. We're off to work. Car's a little bit cooled. I've got a big day ahead of me in court. Only an observer, so that part of it is pretty easy for me, but I'm there to learn and familiarise myself with all the procedures of the tribunal that we're going to be in. Hello, Trixie Tension. Hi, Michelle P. How you doing, gorgeous? Guys, this morning I've had an epiphany about YouTube. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to leave YouTube because I've come up with an idea that is something I really want to do because it's frustrating me it doesn't happen. And I figure since it's not happening, I can make it happen. Hey, Scout. Good morning. Good evening. Great. Thanks, Michelle. Hey, Lady Pegasus. I'm off to worky work. Get off the road, little plover. Some people hate plovers. They're birds. They have propensity to attack people, but I love them. But part of the problem with them is that they eat these little wormy, buggy things that are on the road, like in the tarmac. And as a result, a lot of them get run over. And because people don't like them, I hate to say it, but I think some people deliberately hit them as well. But they take their little babies out onto the road, and their baby plovers are the cutest little things you'll ever see. They literally are little pom poms with feet. Pardon me. I sculled a coffee right before I walked out the door, and a beautiful creamy milk, but it stuck him back off roll. So yeah, I wish they wouldn't go on the road because they take their beautiful little babies out onto the road too, and there's nothing more heartbreaking than seeing anything squashed on the road. But baby plovers. Hey Morgan, how you doing? So I've had an epiphany this morning, and I've got an idea for my channel, and it's fucking date stamped. So if anyone does this idea in a day or two or three or a week or whatever, date stamped. To be honest, I don't think anyone will do it though, because it's kind of a selfless pursuit. And I don't think many YouTubers, let alone how to actually live it. And now my windscreen's smeary again. It was so foggy I had to give it a bit of a wipe, and sure enough, oh my God, it's a never-ending battle. I think I've got some Windex, like organic Windex in the boot of my car, but I don't have any proper cloths. You only do selfish stuff. Well, at least you're honest. Oh God, I wish I had time to stop at Sirens and get one of her coffees for the drive-in, but one of my bosses wants to meet at 8:30, so there can be no fucking around this morning. Jax? Is there a Jax in the house? Who's Jax? Jax. Hello to everyone coming in. So yeah, my epiphany is that highly sensitive people should stay the fuck off YouTube, and that includes me. Or find a way to be present on YouTube where it doesn't affect you directly or personally, except to make you feel like you're helping somebody else, which is where I'm headed with my channel. Jack's 83. I don't know why I can't see Jack's 83 in the house. I might have missed Jack saying hi or something, but a bit tricky at the moment. There's a bit of traffic around. Hey, Sticks, how you doing? Don't forget to yell in caps, guys, and if you can keep your comments short. I can't possibly read the really long ones, especially lowercase ones. So yeah, you're not yelling at me. I'm deliberately asking you to write in bold capitals so I can actually read comments. And if I don't see a comment, please don't get offended. I'm driving on highways to work, and my safety is actually my priority. As full on, I would imagine the live would be if I had an accident. I really don't want to, touch wood. But everyone in chat who's regulars here know how these drives work. So please, if anyone does express disappointment in chat, could you explain to them that driving at 110 kilometres an hour sometimes means I can't read chat? Thanks, Lady Pegasus. And yeah, as we're tootling along, if anyone expresses any sort of anger, disappointment, whatever, just remind them. Or maybe recommend they go for a drive live and see what it's like before they get upset. I will be safe. Hello, beautiful Anastasia. I hope you just saw my message. I'm so sorry. We had dinner after a really long day, and then, of course, I'm 45 minutes drive from home, and I literally got home, fed Sunny, and went to bed. Who slept on my bed all night? Oh, my God. It was so cute. I didn't think she would do that, but she did. And then I'm up bright and early off to work again. So you say knock on wood. Yeah, we say touch wood for trying to remove any bad chi that we've created by having a negative thought. Thank you, Jax. Soothing. Well, that's the road I'm heading down with my channel. Because we've talked about it a lot, but the channels that get a lot of subs in the communities where we all first frolicked and have gradually all met each other are the communities that are making money on YouTube. Yeah, Morgan, I am. So you could, while I'm still live, you can jump on your channel and do it if you want. I'm just date stamping it, but not that that means jack shit in YouTube world. But fuck, where was I? Yeah, the channels that draw big numbers and make money are pretty much either what's up, fucking Chris Watts. Oh my god. Well, yeah, they're either still talking about that fuckface, they're going live and yelling about other YouTube creators ad nauseum, and the audiences are flocking in the droves. Well, they're channels that are all so inextricably linked that they all kind of self-promote each other at the expense of other channels. And when I first came to YouTube, there was a very different vibe. I mean, my channel itself is from, I don't know, 2013 or something. But going live on YouTube only happened in 2018. So pre that, everyone was just uploading videos of themselves doing creative things or watching funny cat channels or listening to their favourite music for the most part. G'day, Casper. And then YouTube brought in this, ability to go live, and that happened in 2018. And that's one of my theories about why the Chris Watts case is so big on YouTube, because people were not only interested in the case, but suddenly there are all these channels that could go live and talk about it. Yeah, I keep unsubbing from negativity, Michelle P. Faux show. I know sticks will freak you out because I'm on the wrong side of the road. Oh, you've just got to work, Casper. Yeah, I'm going in a bit earlier than usual because I've got 2 bosses in town and I'm going to be in court this morning till about lunchtime. And then I've got some clients to see in the afternoon. So it's a big day. And then the boys want to have dinner tonight. So, yeah, it's great having them in town, but it's sort of like, hey, where does my life just vanishes into a work vortex? So my idea, date stamp it, people. It's not even an idea because I kind of have tried to do it a little bit, but I'm going to do it a whole lot more. I really want you guys, if you're out and about on YouTube and you find channels that are doing original content that makes you feel positive and happy, or it challenges you to think about something you don't know a lot about, or it just makes you feel good, let me know. There's an email address on my YouTube About section. Some of you are already mates of mine on YouTube, Facebook and Messenger, but you can also pop comments. You can't post links, but you can put the name of the channel and I'll go there. Because I've decided that for me to stay on YouTube, it's not about building my channel. It's not about putting out creative content. It's not about just trying to give people a happy place to hang out, and that will still happen. But I really want to start promoting and helping little channels grow who should be getting paid for the stuff that they're putting out there. I want to put them under the spotlight and give people an opportunity to see what they do and subscribe and help them grow. That's where I want to focus my energies, and it stems from my career in stand-up comedy. I mean, it's also my personality, but if I'm going to stay on YouTube, it's got to be feel-goody for everyone. So I really want to offer a platform to help little channels grow, because YouTube's changed. Bye, guys. Thanks. Did something happen to Michelle? Why's she leaving? Oh, there's sunny hearts. But are you okay, Michelle? Did she have to go? Am I paranoid? Yeah, I'm paranoid. You bet I'm paranoid. It's fucking YouTube. Have a good day or night, gorgeous. I hope you're okay. Freaks me out when I just look at chat, for a split second. I can't tell if that's like an upset. Oh, she's on a kids run. Okay, Phil. Thanks, Casper. Because I don't read. I can't keep my eye on chat all the time. Casper's the only one in here who really understands what it's like to drive live. You can't follow conversations. Yes, Michelle, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, go get those kitties. So in the comedy world, there's in Australia, there's a competition called Raw Comedy, and that's how I got into comedy. I was in the second year of it in South Australia. I was in it in South Australia. I was driving around. I'd been made redundant from a law firm I was working for right before Christmas. A friend and I jumped in a combi and drove along the Great Ocean Road and learnt how to surf. And the whole time we were driving, we were listening to an Australian. You'd be in the ditch. Anastasia, you reversed up an incredibly steep cliff on Maui that was barely wide enough for one car, let alone cars in both directions. I witnessed that. I have seen firsthand how good a driver Anastasia is. And me pissing my pants, laughing, probably didn't help. God, I still have so many fond memories of that time on Maui with you, Anastasia, honestly. It was just, we packed in so much fun and did so many great things. Oh, I'd give anything to be there again. No, true, you weren't watching the YouTubes, but you had me sitting right next to you, which is probably worse. I did try to encourage you. Hey, beautiful Ruth. So yeah, in Australia, there's a competition called Raw Comedy. I went in it in 96 or 97. It was the second year of it. I've been driving around Victoria, the Great Ocean Road with my friend. We were cruising around in a combi, learning to surf. We were listening to Triple J, and I kept hearing ads for this Raw Comedy. So I entered it, and yeah, let's definitely go back as soon as the pandemic. For sure, Anastasia, that can be our celebration. I would love to. I wish they'd I wish they'd closed the borders to Hawaii though. They really fucked up Hawaii. But anyway, um, so I was driving, and then I caught up with some friends of mine in Melbourne who are both actors. They were married at the time, and I told them I was going to do stand up. In fact, look, I'm talking about Triple J, and there's a Triple J sticker on the car in front of me. And I told them I was going to do stand up comedy, and they freaked out because as actors, they have a script and they get to play a character, whereas stand up comedy, it's you raw, exposed, standing out on stage. Yeah, it's scary to actors. But anyway, I wasn't 100% sure I was going to do it, but I get back to Adelaide, and there's a letter in my mail that says from Triple J saying thank you for registering for Raw Comedy. Um, by the way, you're the first woman to enter it for South Australia, which is where I was living at the time. And I was like, oh my God, I can't not do it. I've got to do it for the sisters. Like, I'm the first girl to enter it. So I did it. Now, I didn't think it through very well because if you're all talking about singing, I've got to get my point out before I get to town. We'll talk about singing in a moment. I sing my life. I'm like, driving along, doing 20 Ks. It's gonna take months to get to work, or maybe days. Yeah, I'm driving along. No, 6. Keep chatting. Seriously, it's just because I can read chat now. I'm like, woohoo. I'll just finish this whole story though, and then we'll all sing. Although I won't be able to hear any of you, and you'll have to listen to me. That's unfortunate. Anyway, so Raw Comedy. The whole point of that story is I went in it. I didn't think it through. If you get in the finals, it's televised. I did say the cunt word in my routine, which automatically disqualified me from going to Melbourne. Well, at least if I had won the heat, I wouldn't have been able to do that joke. But there were two better comedians who tied for first place on the list that night. But the beauty of something like Raw Comedy is it gives stand-up comedians, little start-up stand-up comedians an opportunity to get on stage in front of a big audience and do their material. It's a platform to give little comedians, little itty bitty baby, maybe you've never been on stage before, an opportunity to perform in a really good venue in front of a really supportive audience, and it gives them, many of them, a break. There are so many comedians in the world now who are incredibly famous because of competitions like Raw Comedy, Hannah Gadsby, to name but one. I could name many more, but I'll just name Hannah because she's probably the prime example. Plus, she's Tasmanian and we share the same birthday. Yes, I'm the 12th of January Tasmanian comedian that didn't become famous. Hannah Gadsby is the 12th of January Tasmanian comedian who did. And she deserves it. She's brilliant. But anyway, if it wasn't for something like Raw Comedy, we may not have Hannah Gadsby. And even me, I mean, I didn't go on to have a stellar career like she has, but it launched my comedy career. It gave me a start. One of the judges, who wasn't world famous at the time but was doing breakfast radio in Adelaide at the time, Adam Hills, came up to me after the event and said, come down to Bolts, which is a comedy venue, and start doing comedy, and in about 6 months' time you'll get paid to do it. Well, it turns out I started getting paid 6 weeks after that. But it's your dream to become a comedian? Well, stick with it. Do it, man. And if you can find a Raw Comedy type thing to launch it, even better. Do it. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I ended up doing comedy as a solo career and survived financially on it for quite a few years, the first few years, because when you're new and nobody's heard your material before, you're kind of the flavour of the, well, not even the month, the flavour of several, and if you're lucky, several years. And then I did have to go back to some part-time work just to keep the money rolling in. And then I had a comedy duo with a friend of mine, Jo, who'd been in the Adelaide comedy scene longer than me, and she was in an improvisational group, and we ended up forming a double act called Dangerous Curves. And we did improv, and we were starting to get really well-paid comedy gigs, and it was awesome. But the whole point of that story is it's something like Raw Comedy that gave a little unknown like me an opportunity to get up on stage. Hilsey came up to me afterwards and was like, come up to Bolts and start doing gigs there. We used to have little workshops where you'd get up and do your routines, and the more experienced comedians, including Adam, would be like, hey, I've got another punchline for that joke. And we were all incredibly supportive of each other. Plus, we did workshops, so everyone knew each other's material, so we didn't use each other's material, because in the comedy world, that's like the worst thing you can do. It's called hacking. In fact, I did a routine one year because I had a little sponsored kid, true story, a World Vision kid, and I sponsored him. And when his photo rocked up, the kid was a little fatty boomba. Now, he wasn't malnourished fat. He was McDonald's fat. This kid was a little porker, and he also had a computer. And at that point, I didn't have a computer. Well, I did. I had do you remember those original Apple Macs that were like little rectangular, tiny little screen? They had a game on it called the Scarab of Ra, and they also had a battery pack that you could, they were the first sort of portable computer. Was it the Mac Classic? I can't remember what it was called. These tiny little things. The batteries weighed like 583 kilos, so you couldn't take them very far, and they only had about 20 minutes of battery life, but gee, it was exciting. Anywho, so I had that little fucker, but it wasn't really good, and internet was really expensive, so I didn't use it. But this little sponsored kid of mine lived in a house, a 4-bedroom house. I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment. He had a computer, and he was a bit chubby, so I did a routine about him. And another Adelaide comedian who was now living in Melbourne was actually in Adelaide that night, and after the show, he came up to me and said, hey, Tor, just so you know, I do a routine about a little fat sponsored kid. It's not the same as yours, but it's still about a little fat sponsored kiddie. Maybe, we're both doing it. And I'm like, well, Dave, you're more experienced than I am, and you work in Melbourne, you know, you're a better known comedian, so I'll drop it from my routine. Because you don't want to get off stage and have someone going, that's Dave's joke. You know what I mean? It's hacking. It's not cool. Even though I hadn't seen Dave's routine, didn't know anything about it. So I dropped that from my routine. About a week after that, Dave and I both were watching a comedy gala, and a very well-known Australian comedian was doing a routine about a little fat sponsored kid. So Dave had to drop his as well. I know, isn't it beautiful, Sticks? I love it. I drive over 2 causeways to work every morning and a big fat bridge. Stunning. I can give you a bit of a... And it's really calm today. It's so pretty, hey? So, yeah, so you don't want to be doing stand-up and telling other people's jokes is the point of that. But the real point I'm trying to make is it was because of that supportive community and us doing workshops and, you know, watching other comedians and all the rest of it. We all supported each other, and I felt incredibly supported the entire time I was doing comedy in Adelaide. The comedy scene in Hobart's lovely, but it's a different vibe. And, you know, there's good comics down here, but it was very different to the Adelaide comedy scene back with all these unknown comics, many of whom have now become nationally famous or even internationally. Oh, you check the causeways out? Now, I come to YouTube thinking, you know, maybe I need to start putting comedy out on my YouTube channel and promote myself a bit better on using social media. So I was tweeting jokes, and I decided to use my channel on YouTube to promote comedy, my stuff, and to, you know, go live from comedy venues and highlight other comedians and do some fun things with them, like, you know, I cook with them in the kitchen and sort of interview them. And then bloody Annabelle Crabb came out with Kitchen Cabinet, which was essentially a show where they cook with politicians and interview them. So that idea had to go out the window for me too. Anywho, where was I going with all of this? Oh, so YouTube. So I kind of felt that YouTube would be a similar kind of place, you know. And when I first joined YouTube in the live part of it, like I said, my channel's, you know, been around for nearly 10 years, but it really was up until 2018 nothing more than a watch music videos and concerts and stuff. I wasn't uploading any creative things. But when people started to go live on YouTube, I was suddenly fascinated and thought, oh my God, there's endless possibilities here. And I used to go into these Chris Watts channels, and they used to have a feature on YouTube, go to channels. So if you're in chat, you could just click on it, on their name, and oh, Trixie, there is a live comedy show of me. You'll have to scroll way, 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 way down. And it's bad because I gave a guy in the front row my camera, and he pretty much just pointing up at my gut and my snatch. It's not a great view, but listen to it. Don't watch it. And I naively thought, oh, so yeah, so YouTube had this go-to channel feature, and some bigger creators would go live and help channels build. And then YouTube took the go-to channel feature away. And since that time, it's made it really hard for small channels to grow. And this is where I want to do something with my channel. And it's not about making my channel grow, but I want to be like the Triple J Raw Comedy channel of YouTube. And I want to start putting little channels up that are doing really creative things, channels that you guys have found that you're really enjoying. I want to interview the creators and get into their minds and find out, you know, what makes them tick. I want to celebrate that there are creators on YouTube that are putting things out purely to make people feel better. And I want us to help these little channels grow. I want to give them a little, and now my channel's small, but I still think it's big enough to be a nice little platform to help them along their way. And I think that they should be celebrated, and I think that they should be given credit where it's due. I mean, I could. Oh, there's still a tiny bit of snow up on Mount Wellington, but it's going to be 19 today. It's quite pleasant this morning. 19 Celsius, not Fahrenheit. Holy shit, I wouldn't be saying it's pleasant. It was 19 Fahrenheit. Fuck no, that's like minus, I don't know, 10 in Celsius or something. Fuck that. So yeah, what I'm asking you guys to do is I've realised that the channels I think that are getting way too much attention, plus they're making money doing it, are all of the Chris Watts channels and all of the bitching channels. And why? Why are they being supported? Why are they making money? YouTube is, they monetize, they make money from AdSense, and at the end of the day, most of them don't deserve a tuppenny razoo. And I'd really like us to try and get some of these little creators that are doing original content out there, because nobody's supporting them and YouTube isn't making it easy for them to build. And all of the bitching channels are just really, even though they're bitching about other channels, they're really just promoting other bitching channels, and they're all monetized, making money. Or you've got channels that are still talking about Chris Watts and making money. And I'd really like us to help get some smaller channels out there. So I either do that with my channel and try and make a bit of a difference and get some really good original creators exposed and out there, or I'm moving to a completely different platform. How's the view, guys? Like now, this wide expanse of beautiful blue sky. It's almost like the heavens are going, yes, Tori, do this with your channel. Because there's clicks on YouTube, and there are creators that expose other creators and put them out there, and suddenly they're all, fired up and monetized, and a lot of them are just doing fuck all, they're not creative. I want to help the little guys. So that's what I'm planning on doing, but I need your help. I need you guys to let me know of channels that you find in your travels. I want to bring lots of fun to you guys. I want to keep showing you funny things that I love on YouTube and or around the interwebs that I think will make you laugh. But I really want to give little creators exposure, and I also want to let them get credit where it's due. They're working hard. A lot of them are really just trying to make people feel good. Thank you, Scout. I knew you guys would rally together. Because it's nothing like the comedy scene that I've come from. People aren't given credit where it's due. People aren't encouraged or supported. Like, you kind of got to be in the in clique and you'll be fine. But to be in the in clique, you've got to have numbers. And I don't want to be in any clique. But I think there's a lot of people out there that are doing things that we should all be tuning into and enjoying and supporting them. And also getting their original content out there so people know it's their original content. Whether it's, whether they're being hacked or whether something they've done has inspired a bigger channel and the bigger channel goes ahead and does it, everyone's going to give that bigger channel credit. And I want the little channel to get the credit. They should get the credit. Because in the comedy community, it's the exact opposite. Like, big, well-known comedians help little ones start up. Things like Raw Comedy give unknown comedians an opportunity to be on a big stage in front of a big audience. Experienced comedians do workshops with new comedians and help them, improve their punchlines or hone their material. all the other comedians know the material that they're doing, so that they don't jump up and do it before the little guys get a chance to. It does happen. There are comedians that do that, and it's horrible. It's happened to me. And in fact, I actually once did a joke that another comedian had been doing, and I got blasted for it. But then I saw a George Carlin meme one day, and it was actually George Carlin's joke. So the other comedian had actually pinched it too. And there's a saying in comedy that there's no such thing as an original thought. So people will do and write, they will write material that can be quite similar, especially if they're a topical comedian or an observational comedian and they're doing material about things that are happening in the news. That sort of stuff does happen. But there are some hacks who just do like people's routines from start to finish. And if you're the little unknown one and someone with a bigger profile in the comedy world does it, everyone's going to think it was the more prominent person's material, even though it was the little guy. Do you know what I mean? Oh, God, I love George Carlin. His stuff on not having children is brilliant. We quote him a lot in my child-free community. Hey, Scout, no, I'm not looking for specific content. I just think anything that you find that is either funny, makes you laugh, or makes you feel happy, or is nice and serene and it just makes you feel nice and happy and chilled out, anything like that. Little cooking channels, dance channels, whatever, because YouTube isn't good for my anxiety. I don't think it's good for any highly sensitive people. I didn't know I was an HSP until I burnt out and along came the world of anxiety, but it's making me anxious. It reminds me of jobs, and I've had several, where you have a manager who takes credit for everything. Like they ask for ideas, you pitch an idea to them, they pretty much brush it off. Suddenly you're in a meeting with the CEO of the company and all the staff, and that little fucking manager pitches it to the whole room and gets the credit for it. That's what YouTube's like, in some respects. But, yeah, it's not good for my anxiety. So I want to break away from pretty much 90% of the channels that I've been watching and supporting. I've already unsubbed from shitloads, as you know, but I want to unsub from even more. And I want to start using my platform to promote the little guys. Sorry, there's a bit of crazy traffic, but there's also some weird noise. I don't know what it is. I'm hoping it's not my car. It might be that car. I don't know. I won't be able to read chat, guys, because I'm on the freeway. I'll be with you shortly. Just got to focus. That whatever that noise was wasn't my car, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, so I don't expect any type of channel. I just want to start helping little guys build, and hopefully they'll get a bit more attention. And some of the masses that keep flocking to the monetized channels that are just broken records, and all they're doing is bitching about other channels, which is essentially promoting those other channels. I just think we're better than this, you know, and I want to start finding little channels and connecting with them. And like I said, I just want to be like the Raw Comedy. It doesn't have to be comedy, but I want to be a platform like Raw Comedy that gives little guys an opportunity to get a following. And there's a lot of young creators out there that, you know, could potentially really benefit from having a monetized YouTube channel. I'm not doing YouTube for monetization. I just like hanging out with you guys. So, you know, I think we can put our energy towards doing something positive, because we've been talking about doing positive things on YouTube for a while, but haven't really focused in on what we can do. But yeah, that's basically what I'm going to start doing, because I'd love to help a little channel grow, especially a young creator. And, you know, they're not going to make money on YouTube like YouTube channels were making 5-10 years ago, but they could still make a bit of money, and, you know, it might help them with going to college or buying a car or, you know, better equipment for their channel, whatever it might be. I'd like to be lining their pockets with money, not these channels that have built to crime for 3 bloody years, or you know, just going live and being horrible about other creators and getting paid for that. It blows my mind. And it blows my mind that people super chat them like while they're yelling and screaming. It's like, well, there, Nelly. And it might be a lost cause. It may not make a difference, you know, but I'm going to try. I really want to give some little channels a chance. And I wish that more channels would. I had thingamajig on my panel the other day, and, you know, she reiterated something that we've said a bit on here too, although she was specifically honing in on Aussie creators, but we should all be supporting each other and promoting each other and helping each other. And, you know, there's gazillions of little Aussie channels out there that I'm starting to discover that are doing some pretty cool shit, and I want to bring them in and support them. I mean, the bigger channels have got subs and they've got the attention, and they're all just kind of building each other up, and that's cool. Let them do that. I want to be digging around, you know, and finding the little guys and giving them a platform. So like I said, I mean, my channel's not huge, but I've got a beautiful community here. And quite often, you know, people come into my chat that we don't know about, and they start talking about their channel, and we pop their links up, and they're the ones that, you know, that I want to support. You know, I do it for the little comedian who doesn't get onto a platform like Raw Comedy and get the exposure that they want. Do it for the people who work in an office or for a company where they have a corporate sociopath as a manager who steals their ideas and gets credit for it when it should be going to the little guy. I think anyone who's ever worked has been in an environment like that. I have several times. And it's not just my ideas, like it's other people's ideas too, and it's horrible. It's horrible to see someone getting a pat on the back and a pay rise or a bonus when you know that someone else in the building came up with that idea. Bye, Anastasia. I love you, gorgeous. Aloha. So yeah, I'm giving the little guys a platform. I want to find them, interview them, show you guys what they're doing, encourage people to sub and support them. There's plenty of channels out there that are doing really well, but a lot of them are not really adding to anyone's life, and they're actually causing most people anxiety. I do worry about people's mental health. Like, I know it fucked my head up a bit watching, getting so invested in the Chris Watts thing and watching all of that shit. And, you know, I've talked a lot about how drama channels that yell and scream, I can't handle it. It gets my heart racing, and there's a tiny bit of snow on the mountain. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. There's the specks on top of the mountain. Yesterday it was covered in cloud. I'm so glad we've got a beautiful blue sky and a sunny day today for one of my bosses. It's the first time he's been here. So yesterday he arrived and it was cold and snowing and blustery and feral. Now he's getting a lovely, calm, beautiful blue sky, bit of sunshine, Hobart morning. Woo! I'm happy for that. I don't want people to leave Tassie and say, fuck, everyone's right. It is freezing and miserable, because it's really not. I love our crisp, sunny winter days. It's beautiful. So pretty, because we're not a wet place. A lot of people think Tasmania is wet and damp. And I mean, sure, we've got rainforests and stuff, and it does get a little bit damp there. Crazy Alex. All right, I might check Crazy Alex out. But I'm going to try to look at channels that are, you know, little bubby ones. See if we can launch a few and get them out there. You know, as long as they are offering something that's entertaining and makes you feel good. And by entertaining, I don't mean it has to be funny, like just entertaining in that it's informative or it's creative. Something that makes you feel good. It might be, you know, original music, or they might be making music videos to really pretty songs, or they might be, traveling and going on little adventures. You know, just anything that makes you feel good. Crazy Alex does prank calls. All right, cool. I'll try to check Crazy Alex out. I'll read back through chat. Probably not till tomorrow night, because I've still got one of my bosses here tomorrow as well. One of them flies out this evening. The other one flies out tomorrow night. So I really have no life until they're gone. So weird. It's like, okay, 3 days of work with bosses in town. No one's going to hear from me or see me. Even my lunch break, I can't really check in with people because I'm having lunch with them. It's like the only time I really get to myself is either driving into work or home, or when I go to the loo. I'm not complaining. They're really lovely and they're so supportive. But yeah, my life pretty much gets put on hold. And the other thing I am probably going to do is get back into some scam baiting, but I'm going to do it over on Twitch, because there's a really big supportive scam baiting community over there, and a lot of them do their lives over on Twitch, and then they edit their lives and put them up on YouTube. And I think I'll probably do the same thing. Because that also makes me feel good, like exposing scammers. It's pretty rewarding. Not financially, and I don't want it to be, but in terms of feeling like you've done something worthwhile and you might be making a difference. And at the very least, you might be stopping them from scamming somebody else while you're wasting their time. Twitch is like the Twitter equivalent of YouTube. It's another live streaming platform. And I can live stream YouTube channels and TV shows and all sorts of shit over there and not get struck. So it's a bit more freedom on Twitch. But now, anyway, it was originally a gamers platform, but there's channels doing all sorts of stuff over there now. Oh, thanks, Trixie. I found the scam baiting really rewarding. I mean, it's good for awareness. And again, I mean, I know there are little scam baiter channels on YouTube. I'll I'll put them on my platform as well. Like anyone that's kind of doing anything entertaining, original, worthwhile, all the bigger channels are just going to keep growing and doing their thing, and that's great, but they don't need my help. I want to give the little guys a chance to be seen. Will it make a difference? I don't know. It could. I've got heaps of scam baiting videos on this channel, Sticks. If you're ever bored, just they've all got names like the Soft Six, the Soft James, the Hard Karen. But if you look for anything with the soft in it, they're all scam baiting videos, and if you watch them, you'll work out why they've got the soft. I'd recommend you watch the series, The Soft Six. That would be a good place to start. Start at the very beginning. And it's one of those things you can just have it on while you're doing the vacuuming or sweeping or pottering around. Like, you don't need to sit and watch it. Although there's some pretty funny moments. We used to do really bad karaoke at the end of them. I used to get people up to read with me because the Soft Six was actually a blog originally. So we kind of read it out and had fun with it on YouTube. And then I went into live scam baiting. Oh, bless Mel Mel. She's a good egg. So, yeah, there's my epiphany. I don't think YouTube's a great playground for highly sensitive people, but I do think that there are people on YouTube that are doing great things for highly sensitive people, and I want to encourage us all to watch them. Bit of advice there from Scout. Yeah, they were very hilarious. Some of them were very funny. Very funny. I really need to go back and if I go over to Twitch, I'm going to put a lot of them over on Twitch. God, we had some good nights doing that. It was so much fun. So much fun. A lot of work, though. A lot of work. Like mountains of work. Trying to come up with one-liners to make it entertaining for you guys to watch, but not too over the top that the scammers would think something was a bit out of whack. But for me, creative writing, oh, thank you, Lady Pegasus. You know, for me, creative writing and doing it well is sort of one of my passions. And there was pressure to make sure I made you guys laugh a lot. And I know that we did. It was so rewarding. But sometimes you bust your guts to make people laugh and it falls flat, you know. And then another comedian does your same joke and they get a massive laugh. And it's like, hey, not fair. So that's my epiphany. That's my plan. And don't be surprised if a bigger channel starts doing it, because that seems to be the way the YouTube world works. But that's all right. If they're promoting other little channels, bring it on. The more the merrier. I'm not going to get upset about that. I hope you all have a really lovely day, night, whatever you're up to. I'm going to go and grab a coffee and meet my boss, one of them. We've got a little Zoom-in meeting because this firm that I'm working for have a little meeting every morning where we all check in and they just make sure everyone's, you know, happy. Oh, no, man, someone's in the park. Oh, no. But this one's free and it's not a reserved one. Um, yeah, so I've got a little Zoom-in meeting, which I really love. I love that this firm cares about their staff, and every morning we all ring in and it's like, you know, has anyone got too much work? Does anyone need more work? So-and-so's sick today. Who can cover for them? You know, if you need to speak to somebody after the meeting, you can say, hey, can I have a quick chat with you? It's really, really supportive. It's incredible. I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't believe how perfect this job is for me, even though it's crazy busy and full on. I'm working for some really lovely people who care about their staff and who don't screw their staff around. And so far, from what I've seen, they also give credit where credit's due. And that's something that you don't see a lot of in a lot of businesses these days. So bless them, you know, they're good eggs. So many good eggs. Just trying to find my lip gloss. That's why I'm rummaging. Really annoys me if I watch a YouTuber and they rummage, the rummaging sound. I'm like, stop rummaging, and now I'm doing it. Laura, Life Perplexed, she's a terrible rummager. If anyone's ever watched her when she's got to get something out of a handbag, holy shit, brace yourself. It's ASMR or whatever it is on steroids. Thanks for hanging out with me, Lady Pegasus, and everybody else. And yeah, I hope everyone has a really lovely day, whatever you get up to. Feel free to, like I said, email me. The email address is in my About section, or pop a comment under this video. Or if you know me on Facebook and Messenger, flick me a message that way. Let's start finding some little gems on YouTube and get them out there and share the love. You know, let's give the little battlers an opportunity to shine. Love you, Sticks. Thanks for hanging out here. Good to have you here. Bye, beautiful Scout Inquirer. In fact, Scout Inquirer's message, I reiterate that. Everything Scout Inquirer said. Till next time, stay groovy and please subscribe to my channel because, yeah, I'm going to start showcasing some people on YouTube who are worth watching, and I think we should all get behind them and help them build and grow. I love you guys. See you all again very soon. Have a gorgeous day.